Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This time it is for The Gift, a 2015 thriller. Not sure thriller is the best way to describe this. Maybe not, like drama, psychological type of thing. It's a damn good movie with a damn good story, and the cast do their jobs very well. Jason Bateman, Rebecca Hall, Joel Edgerton. Joel Edgerton is not only a co-star, but he directed the film. I hate this stupid tomato thing on the front. It was like something buy at the fucking grocery store. Where's the sticker? Now, The Gift, you have this couple, played by Jason Bateman and Rebecca Hall, and they've moved in. Things are going well. And then this guy, played by Joel Edgerton, comes by, leaves them gifts, and wants to be friends. He is an old acquaintance of Jason Bateman's character. And what I like about the movie, this at first seems like the typical, okay, here's the weirdo guy played by Joel Edgerton. It's unlawful entry, or it's, all these other films where the outsider comes in and wants to disrupt the married couple, and they become a killer, or they become a psycho, or obsession, things of that nature. And you think it's going to go the typical route. But it doesn't. And that's what makes it more interesting. And you start learning more about each of the characters, especially Jason Bateman and Joel Edgerton's characters. The lines start getting more of a gray area. And I'll leave it at that. I'll go into spoilers in a bit. But I will say it's a well-acted film. I did not get bored with it. Again, the creative direction, Joel Edgerton, who wrote and directed it, made it a bit more unique. Dare I say a little bit more original than the typical Fatal Attraction type of movie. Because, get more into spoilers, you start realizing who Joel Edgerton's character is. And there's a line near the end where lies, you don't know how lies can poison a person's mind. And that's a phrase to think about a good chunk of this film. You start finding more about Jason Bateman's character, that he's not as nice as we think he is. He's not as much of a hero as we think he is. Jason Bateman's character had a bit of a ugly past that still kind of continues to this day. While Joel Edgerton, who's doing very questionable things, you find more and more sympathy towards him. And I wouldn't say it completely switches to from hero to villain and villain to hero, but kind of almost does in a way. Because Joel Edgerton's character starts putting ideas out there. You find out more about his past, getting even more in depth into it. You find out that Jason Bateman, when he was a kid, was a bully, bullied Joel Edgerton's character. Jason Bateman's character lied about serious things. He made up this lie in school that Joel Edgerton's character got molested in a car. Thus, he got bullied even more. He got beaten up more by other kids. The dad even tried to kill him because he thought he was gay. He got sent away and pretty much ruined Joel Edgerton's life. But Jason Bateman doesn't say this and lies about it and lies about some more, even to the point where Rebecca Hall is like, you know what, you were a bully then and you're still a bully. And these things being let out makes the wife of course, distrusts her husband more and more, deservedly so, because Jason Bateman keeps lying about things. She even says at one point, I guess I really don't know who you really are. And how do I put it? Again, it takes these different turns that I didn't think it would the first time I saw it. I'm like, okay, that's a bit interesting, a bit more unique. And all handled by really good performances by the three main stars of the film. And even you get, again, it seems like throughout the film you like Joel Edgerton's character a bit more and a bit more and a bit more sympathizing him. And Jason Bateman's character you like less and less and less. And again, this is only speaking for me, I kind of, by the end, glowed in the presence of Jason Bateman's character getting his life shattered because he was such a shithead in the past, even during this present time where, the wife is saying you should apologize for back in the day, and Jason Bateman go on about, you don't apologize, there are winners and losers, and what, I should feel sorry for him for something that happened years and years ago, he should get over it. And in a way, Jason Bateman does get his comeuppance. But at the same time, I wouldn't say you made this character likable, because there's still this one big doubt at the end, which is a very, very questionable thing. But before I get to that, Jason Bateman, you find out he fucked over another guy at work, so he's still doing this stuff that he did when he was a kid. And because of all this, he loses his job. His wife wants to separate from him after a kid is born. And he's lost his job. He's going to lose his wife. And now there's this one more thing where he sends Jason Bateman one last gift, which is this tape, or I should say, DVD, that shows an individual going to his house, an individual caressing his unconscious wife, and then you're supposed to wonder, did he do something to the wife, and is that baby really Joel Edgerton's baby, or is it really, Jason Bateman's baby? And it's ambiguous, but I thought it was ambiguous that worked all right, because you could think how you want. In my opinion, I don't think Joel Edgerton's character did anything about it because of the dialogue that's said, where he calls Jason Bateman and he goes, okay, I didn't do it. Or maybe I did. See, that's the thing with liars. They won't believe you even if you do tell the truth. Which makes you think, oh, he is telling the truth, but Jason Bateman's character is such a liar, he's not going to believe it, what anybody else says. And he says something like, look into the eyes, the eyes of the baby. You can tell by the eyes. But then the same time he says about that line of how you throw out lies and it could poison someone's mind. So my thought was, my takeaway from this film, this was a psychological breakdown of Joel Edgerton poisoning. He was poisoned with lies by Jason Bateman, and in a way it's a psychological revenge against the bully that fucked up his childhood. That's the way I took it. Again, doesn't mean what Joel Edgerton did 100% right. Again, very questionable, dare I say, disturbing things that he did. But again, it makes a pretty interesting story, interesting payoff. And if you don't want to subscribe to that and you subscribe to the other front, you can say, well, Joel Edgerton's one last gift to the wife was to give her the child that she always wanted. Granted, she doesn't know about him. She thinks it's Jason Bateman. Of course, in my head, I'm thinking, well, just get a blood test. I think a simple blood test will prove if the kids... I mean, that's one flaw I have with the film when it gets to the finale, is he left this footage of a person in a mask straddling the unconscious wife. Jason Bateman could literally go in, take a laptop, show him, and say, I need a blood test. If you say maybe someone came in and raped you, I need to find out. Bing, bang, boom. Oh, it is him. Hey, I was right. You could do that stuff, but the movie didn't want to go in that direction, which is understandable. But again, just saying, maybe you could have written it where the footage was seen once, but then disappeared. Like it was something that he was watching at that moment and then disappeared, and then there was no evidence at all. So there was no way for Jason Bateman to prove. But he's got the disc, so he has technically proof. Not proof it was Joel Edgerton that was in the house, but someone with a mask on. So there's a couple ways that could have been written I thought better. But that's really the only flaw I had with it. Other than that, like I said, it's a well-acted movie. It's an interesting story. It takes different directions that are not typical. They're not cliche. That's not the formulaic format. I think that's one of the reasons why this film got a lot of good reviews, and I can understand why. And again, Jason Bateman, in a way, his character gets his comeuppance to the point where he crumbles to the ground crying, and Joel Edgerton's watching and walks away. Payback for what he did when he was a kid. And really enough, despite that, I kind of like Joel Edgerton's character more than Jason Bateman's character, as fucked up as it may sound to some people. But yeah, if you've never seen this film, it's definitely worth a look. I don't get the modern fatal attraction thing. I mean, I guess if there's no other way to describe it, in that Hand that Rocks the Cradle, those type of psychological thrillers of the 90s, I guess that's a way. But this is different as well. It's not the same thing. It may appear to be the same thing, but it's not, and that's what I liked about it. That's what made it a bit more intriguing than the typical film. But anyway, I know I'm going on, and don't want to give every single bit away, although I gave the ending away, so I guess that doesn't matter. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care. It was filmed well. The score was fine. It wasn't out of the blue. It fit the film fine. Edited, like all the other aspects are fine. Supporting cast, the editing, the cinematography. Nothing that stood out, but nothing that was bad either. It was more centered on the story and the performances, and I thought both of them were pretty good. So, yeah, The Gift, worth a look. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.